On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Ethan sleeps on the ground, Tony continues looking for hope, and Cole returns from sickness to fight the darkness. Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
Hey,
What's up?
I'm watching a video of a baby duck pushing an adult duck off a couch.
That is, I don't know if that's rude or adorable. Maybe both.
Here, I'm retweeting. Here.
Well, I'll check that after the show. I'm not going to check Twitter in the middle of the show.
It's 7 seconds long. Yeah, you got time.
Oh, well, I'd have to pull up Twitter, and I don't have Twitter on right now.
How dare you?
So, I'm sorry. If I get a notification that you've retweeted something on my phone, I'll pull up my phone, and I'll do it that way.
Let me grab Twitter and pull that up real quick.
Don't tag me in it. I've been doing the plumbing around the house needs to be fixed. I've had a leaky faucet for a while, and I went to try to fix it today. I took the old faucet out, installed the new faucet, but the tubes that go from the handle to the water supply are not long enough. So I have to figure out if I can extend those in some way, or if I'm going to have to go out and buy a whole new faucet, and I really don't want to do that because I spent $100 on the faucet the first time.
That's not fun.
So, yeah, that sucks, because now I've got stuff all over my kitchen, and I can't use my kitchen at all.
This is the time of year where Heather makes like those little cake or pies.
Oh yeah, this is baking season. So
Yeah, you need to spend that money and get that fixed right now.
I mean, it does need to be fixed as soon as possible because I need pumpkin pie, and Christmas baking will be coming up before you know it.
Ooh, Christmas.
So, gotta have the kitchen ready for that. But it's a really nice faucet that I bought. It's got the handle that comes out, the sprayer is the faucet part. You just pull it down and spray everything. It came with a soap dispenser, which I thought was interesting. I've never had a sink that had a soap dispenser built in, but it's got one. So
yeah, but it's probably one of those where you got to install it from underneath the sink or something, right?
Yep. Every time you want to add soap to it, you got to crawl under the sink and take the bottle out and fill it up and get back under the sink and put it back up there. That probably will end up being a pain in the rear end, and we'll do it one time, and then we're like, I am not crawling under the sink to replace that. So, but
so you had children for it.
That's right, exactly. We also have. Would you stop it? I'm not talking to you. Stop, Alexa. Stop. Joining us along with my Echo, we have Cole.
Those sound pretty good to me. I love getting under the sink. Any reason I can.
Well, that's where you found a cat.
Yeah, that's where Stray came from. Did you know that Soups likes to hang out in that same spot?
Really?
Yeah, except I don't think Soups goes under the house. We've got it mostly closed off now.
Well, that's good. You don't want like a raccoon showing up in your house because there's a hole in the floor.
Well, I'm okay with a raccoon. I don't want a skunk coming in our inside. We had one outside the house like a week or two ago that stunk it up really bad.
Oh, yeah, and that smell lingers forever.
And this is an older house, so it's like it basically is in the crawl space. So it's like, oh, great, I can smell it everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, and old houses aren't sealed properly, so every little critter can get in, and every little smell from underneath your house just sort of makes its way in.
Yep. They're cold. Let them inside.
Just no, I don't want the skunks inside. Like
No skunks.
if I could ever have a pet skunk, I would 100% do it. But that takes
This one you can.
takes
Yeah,
a lot of work.
it would have to be trained enough that you would be like, okay, don't spray me, but someone takes my parking spot, jump out of my car.
Well,
And
I would. You'd have to get it completely descented because I'm not going to take the chance that my pet could accidentally get spooked because I come down in the middle of the night and wake it up from a dead sleep. So I know I've seen people and heard people and talked to people that have had pet skunks, and they basically say you have, much like if you have a pet raccoon, you have to baby proof the entire house because they will steal everything.
I do want to train some. I do want to train some pet ravens.
That could be interesting.
Make them learn to steal money from people.
Yeah, you just have to train them to. You give them like coins or shiny things, and they're like, "Oh, I must trade you for what I can find," and they'll bring you all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, they like to bring you gifts, so that could
You could always go for a possum army.
I mean, we tried that once, or somebody tried that once.
I tried to find that guy's Kickstarter or whatever it was.
It's not a Kickstarter; it was some other thing.
Whatever it was, it didn't exist anymore.
Oh, that was one of the funniest moments ever on the podcast. Was reading that description of the possum army.
And then everything that y'all talked about after related to it. Good times, very good times.
That brought us almost as much entertainment as Bullet Witch has. So,
Bullet Witch is the entertainment that keeps on giving.
I mean, that's true. That's true. You know what else keeps on giving? That is Destiny. And Cole, I think you have been playing some Destiny.
It's true. I played a little bit of the Halloween event. I've been out a couple of weeks because sickness and all that fun stuff. But every chance I get to play something, it's typically Destiny. And their Halloween stuff, I thought it ended last week because Halloween was on a Monday, and then it was like November 1st is Tuesday. But looks like we have one more week to get any of the Festival of the Lost stuff done that we want to do. I've done a little bit of it. I haven't got all the stuff I need for the title, since there's another title for the season, which I still have some of the stuff to do in the actual season. But the actual season is going to be a couple more weeks, whereas this Halloween event's going to be, let's see, it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 2-3 days total. So not a lot of time to get all that stuff done, but it's always pretty fun. They brought back the haunted lost sectors, so
the same thing we did last year.
Yeah, it's a lost sector with you capture zones and then you kill the mini boss. And I got the triumph for getting the perfect lost sectors on all the places.
Yeah.
But I don't remember getting the last one on EDZ. I don't think I ever got a perfect one on EDZ.
Weird.
Unless it was 14, in which case, yeah, I got perfect every time. It's just weird that it was 14 when all the rest were 15.
Well, it's like the one on the moon that me and Stuart did, where you have 4 places that they pop up instead of 3. And it only gave us 14 today.
That's probably what it is. Because there's only 3 of you and there's 4 locations, and your only possible way to get that perfect is if you start the zones and then you leave one of the guys spawned and go to the last zone, and then everybody works together to get that final one before it despawns.
What Stuart was pointing out to me, it's like, because there's 4 zones, they're supposed to spawn in faster on that.
Yeah.
And instead, it just did one at a time.
Yeah.
So that was pretty nice.
But yeah, it's pretty fun. There's some new masks again. I'm pretty happy. I got the bread mask, so I look like a loaf of bread. The paid masks are pretty cool too. There's the Star Horse one that I want to get, but I need like 1,500 bright dust, so that's probably not going to happen this season. This season's set, I don't know if I talked about the Halloween event at all last time I was on.
It's been like 2 weeks, and this is the third week, so no,
probably not. They have a new sparrow, which is a horse. It's a Star Horse,
Nice.
just like the Star Wars mask. The seasonal set, or the Halloween event seasonal set, is all mech themed, so it's very Gundam. And they even made a new weapon, which is a sniper rifle called Mech Abre, like macabre, but with mech.
Yeah.
Pretty clever play on words. And then you can still get the other year's weapons like Jurassic Green or Horror Story was one of the ones I got, I think.
Horror Story was the original weapon.
Yeah. And the werewolf, there's an auto rifle. I don't know. But yeah.
Break-Tech Wolf or something?
Yeah, Break-Tech Werewolf. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, they brought those old weapons back, which is pretty nice. But it's very similar to every year. So it's just new rewards and new triumphs to chase and stuff. So,
and it's paid this year.
Yeah, you can get some special stuff. They did that with the last event. What was that? Solstice?
Yep. But Solstice, it's like you gotta get all 4 seasonal things done to get the
seasonal. Yeah.
This one, it has its own seasonal.
Last
title.
season didn't.
Last season, this one has its own title. Last season, it was like you had to complete all 4 season things.
Okay, so
yeah.
I think I got that. I got the Candescent stuff and the parts that I need for that season. But I'll need to get this season's if I want to get that seasonal one. And it looks like that one's going to be a gilding one as well. Which, I mean, like this season's you can gild. The Halloween one you can gild.
I got a new title today.
What's that?
Scallywag.
Scallywag. Oh, nice. Yeah, the seasons. I don't think I have Scallywag yet.
Yeah. As soon as I went in there to you kind of helped me with it yesterday.
I think that's what I'm missing. Yeah.
But yeah, got that done today. Stuart was along for the rest of that journey.
Nice. Congrats. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I need that. I need to get the. It looks like I need 3 upgrades and like 16 ruffians. So I got to do some of that activity, but like I said, it's got like 3 weeks left, so that one's not as pressing as this Halloween one. Which
right.
I don't know. I'm probably not going to play anymore tonight, but I might play some tomorrow. It's conflicting because I want to work on that, and I also want to work on the Scallywag one, but I also want to work on the Vow one and the King's Fall one, and so there's lots of different stuff you can do in Destiny right now. I still haven't got the Duality one. I haven't got the sword from that. But yeah, there's plenty to do in Destiny. Halloween's event's going to wrap up today or Monday, and then season will wrap up in a few more weeks. We'll have a new season for like 3 to 6 months or whatever it is until February, and then we'll have, I think it's Lightfall is what it's called.
Probably,
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we'll have the new DLC, the new Lightfall, which will be really cool. So, but I know I just talked about Destiny for a whole lot because I've been gone for a while. Because I didn't really like gaming wise. I played like one to 2 times this week, and like maybe that much last week as well. Yeah. So that's about it for me.
Okay.
How about you, Ethan?
So you know what? I didn't even check. I mean, the game is out that I'm going to talk about. I didn't check to make sure I was restricted on the thing anymore.
I don't think so. I think you're free to talk about whatever you want now.
Yeah, I think I was free as of the 3rd. Still, I want to make sure. Yeah, okay, I'm good. All right, so I played a little game called Ghost Song for review. Ghost Song, oh gosh, it is a Metroidvania type game. It's probably the best way I can phrase describe that.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very heavily on the Metroid.
Yeah, this looks very, very Metroid inspired.
Yeah, you're a humanoid robotic thing. You got an arm cannon. You get abilities that give you like double jump and dashing and charge shots and different weapons and stuff. So it's very Metroid based on how this game plays, and the map system. Yeah, it's all there, but this game is difficult.
Really,
Very difficult. Like just from the start, like you wake up, you're on an alien planet, you don't know what's going on or anything, and just like Metroid, I went left from the start instead of right. Ran into my first enemy, not that big a deal. It was the enemy behind him that was a big deal. And this is how I found out this game plays like Dark Souls or any of the Souls games.
Interesting.
Because I got beat, and then I had to go back and pick up the money when I respawned.
Like, Metroid seems like it would be really open to having a Dark Souls style experience to it.
Yeah, this is very much it. Oh gosh, where do I even want to start on this? There's a lot of exploration. The maps in this, the world you're exploring, it's kind of a bleak, rainy. Have I said desolate already?
I don't think so.
But desolate's not really the right word either. Like, this entire planet's like just going to crap, and then you're just digging your way down or going down into the tunnels underneath it, exploring the innards and fighting whatever monstrosities lived within the planet.
Yeah.
And there are other ships that have crash landed, so there are survivors from these crashes. Eventually, you're helping a group of them, so that way you can escape with them. And your mission is to go and find parts that they need to repair their ships, hull for stuff, so they can get out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if this is true for y'all, but for a number of people who played the Soul series of games, usually like the monster enemies are the easiest thing to fight, whereas the humanoid, the regular human sized characters, they're like the hard ones to fight. They stand on like equal footing with you, if not greater.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of true with like the enemies in here. Like, there's a bunch of monsters, and it's like, all right, learn their patterns. Like, all right, they do this, I do this. That's it. And then, but the humans, the ones that are like your size, their predictability, like you can start predicting it, but it takes a while to just get through them. And I keep saying I went left at the start. The thing I ran into on the left, and I'm just going to spoil this, it's another humanoid character, same size as you. He's got a lot of black hair growing all over him, and it's like you see this and you're like, oh, is this someone I can talk to? A name pops up on the screen, and then he slowly like struggles lifting his arm.
Yeah.
And just starts blasting at you. And it's like, okay, well, 2 shots and I'm dead. Great.
Dang.
Anyway, I think I spent 30 minutes back and forth with Death on there, just trying to fight him. I eventually did beat him, and it gives you like your first additional weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, okay, this is just like Metroid. Now I have like additional type of firing on my weapon, and just continuing on my way through the game. Just exploring. Like 5 feet to the left of him is a wall and an item that you pick up off the ground, and so you're forced to go to the right. I'm like, oh, okay, now I can blast my way through a wall or something over here. No, you have to go and physically equip the thing they give you. And to do that, you have to shut down your suit, go into your menu, hope you have enough power regulated through the suit to use that module.
Wow, that's
it's like getting like multiple weapons and the various suit and barrier or whatever in Metroid.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, I need this much power to use all these together, so I'm gonna have to spend points to level up that. In the meantime, I'll just use like Ice Beam with Wave Beam.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing. So in this case, I equipped his weapon and I thought I was using it. Still wasn't using it because you have your primary fire. It's like playing Mega Man games these days, where like you switch to the ability that you just unlocked from whatever boss you defeated,
Mm-hmm.
and you can actually use your normal buster. But if you press an alternate form of fire, you can use your normal buster.
Yeah.
Use your primary, then you use that ability. So this one, you have a button dedicated to using whatever sub weapon you have equipped.
Oh, cool.
And then you also have a melee as well, so that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's one of the things I'm glad they sort of added to Metroid recently was at least some form of melee attack with the counters that you can do.
Yeah. In this one, they're not counters. It's just you attack and hope that you can beat it. Some things take more damage from like being meleeed. Others have to be shot down.
Yeah.
And you want to keep a distance from pretty much everything on here. I think I finished the entire game around level 27, just allocating my points evenly across everything.
Yeah.
You'll find items that give you more of the point stuff that you use to your currency to buy stuff. You'll find like Soul of a Fallen Hero. You eat that and you get 500 soul points. Then that sort of thing. Yeah.
I'm really digging the visual style of the game.
It looks really well. The one I played was on Switch, and there is a very, very noticeable frame dip when playing that version. It's not unplayable. It's just you're playing it and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm obviously running at sub 30 frames a second here, and then suddenly you're like at the edge of a map and there's no more enemies on there. And no animations like from rain or anything of the sorts, and it's like, oh, this is like running at a full 60 frames a second. That's weird.
Yeah,
because it's so buttery smooth at that point.
Yeah, it's really kind of sucks that the frame rate can't be steady. Like I'd be fine with if they put it at 30 instead of 60 if that's what they wanted to do, as long as it's steady. Like,
yeah,
that's the thing that makes so much more of a difference to me is if the frame rate holds steady. I don't care if it's 30 or 60 or whatever. Just make it, so that it stays the same, no matter which one you're running at.
Yeah, and I'm sure they worked on trying to get it to do what their target was on there. Also, I've been watching a GIF just on repeat right here, and I'm noticing this is on the Steam page, by the way. And I'm noticing like stuff I didn't even see in the Switch version. Like she's running and leaving the dirt cloud. I don't think it left much of a dirt cloud, but I'm also noticing little rocks getting kicked around every step she takes.
Yeah. That
I do not recall seeing at all. So yeah, it might be better on other platforms. Which it will be on Xbox and Game Pass for both. I think it's on PC as well, Game Pass. I haven't looked. That's also on PS, 4 and 5?
I believe so, yeah.
And, of course, like I said, I'm looking at the Steam page. So, yeah, there's options for where you want to play this game. And the Switch version is entirely an option.
Yeah,
it's not...
It's very much... It feels very much to me like the... Proteus that I've been playing recently, where the Switch version is playable, but it is a very noticeable downgrade from the other platforms.
Yeah. And just like on like with Metroid Dread, you do have the ability to stand and like aim your gun with a laser pointer thing, so that way you can figure out where to shoot stuff. And I highly recommend, if you get this game, and I can not stress how highly this is, when you get additional weapons, test them out on enemies, see what deals the most damage.
Okay.
or you will be. There was a optional boss fight I did, and I didn't know it was optional. I just wanted to beat the crap out of that boss because it pissed me off. Um, but I kept fighting this boss, fighting over and over, trying to defeat it, not getting any progress, and it's basically shooting me with stuff and finishing me off in 3 hits, give or take. And I'm getting annoyed by this. I finally came back later after I found someone selling an item that lets me see like the HP bars of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Came back and it's like, oh, I've been doing tick damage to this enemy this entire time.
Yeah.
Even using like rockets or a fire weapon, we'll just say. So it's like, all right, well, I needed to use something different, like maybe electric or some kind of slime or something. I don't recommend slime. They like heal most enemies they encounter.
Oh, great.
Just throwing that out there. But yeah, I switched weapons at this boss and just blew this boss up immediately with it. And then I think I used that weapon for the rest of the game because it was. I'm not going to say which one it was, but it's a charge weapon.
Okay.
And it does. You charge it up. There is a heat level to everything on there. So like your main gun, you have a certain amount of heat before it overheats before it's overheated, then you can only slow fire.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like a stamina thing, and it kind of, I don't know which bar it eats, but the special weapons will eat out that bar, and so like you won't be able to shoot them as fast, so you have to wait on the recharge. You have this weapon out and you do the charge shots, you're constantly at a full charge on that meter because you can't fire as fast on there and you're doing a ton of damage. But it was just great because you shoot them with this and it's doing 300 plus damage, and then it doubles that damage, so you have 2 damage values there. One of them might be like 290 something, but it was so worth it.
Yeah. And
I didn't find anything that was really resistant to it after that.
Is it the Spartan laser?
No.
Hammer of Dawn.
I wish.
Oh man,
that would obliterate this entire game.
I'll have nightmares.
I'm watching some footage of the game right now, and these like zombie-looking enemies look sort of similar to the Chozo. Like you can see the heavy inspiration from the Metroid series in this game.
Yeah, and they're really not a threat, except for the boss that was optional that I fought. That was one of them. I don't know, Tony. You're looking at some of the videos. Are you noticing like the paint and blood splatters she's getting on the suit?
I haven't really been paying that much attention to it, but yes, I can see blood on the armor.
Yeah. So like there's literal splash damage from enemies on there, and like if you run through certain areas, certain little plants or something will be on the ground at some point, and they explode green healing goo, and so you'll have like green stuff on your legs, or if you run through an insect larva nest, you'll get white gunk all over your suit. You run into slimes, like if they attack you, your gun gets covered in actual green goop from them, and it actually reduces the heat buildup on there from them. That was really amazing. And you can pause the menu and see that slime on the gun.
That's a really nice touch.
It really is, and then you start using the gun, it burns it off. But that's pretty much like the only thing you'll see on there. But it's just these cosmetic touches that makes you see like your character's like going through a rough time on there. And I don't know what causes the light bulb on the helmet to change colors. Like sometimes it's green, other times it's yellow, and for me it was mostly like purple.
It's been pretty much green the entire time we've been talking in this video that I'm watching.
Yeah, it's like some certain things you have equipped. Exploration wise, the game is very, very rough on exploration. It's like you kind of have an idea where to go, and you have to get to one of these locations to get these items, and it's just a matter of having the right stuff to get there, like just like Metroid or whatever.
Yeah, that reminds me a little bit of like Hollow Knight, where it was incredibly easy to get lost in Hollow Knight
Yes.
But they give you tons of options to try to get to where you're going. They have so many different paths that you can take to get to places.
Yeah, but in this case, it's like, all right, I know how to get there. There's a giant wall.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to climb this wall. So you have to go and explore until you get an ability, which you're not going to know where to get this ability. So like there's like a wall jump ability, like Mega Man X style, where you just climb a wall, jumping on it.
Yeah.
So that's like that's like your free ability where it's active whenever you get it. There's a double jump you can get in there, and that takes an actual module slot so you have to have enough points to equip it.
Yeah.
And it's like once you have the wall jump and double jump, like the entire world is opened up at that point. There's no stopping you.
Having such a good time.
And the double jump's just because occasionally you have a helmet, or not a helmet, a ledge over your head or something that you'll need to jump around. And that's the only reason I say that. Otherwise, having the wall jump, everything's unlocked for you.
Okay.
But this game, it was difficult.
But is it a difficult that feels fair, or is it a difficult for just the sake of being difficult?
It's difficult just for the sake of being annoying, I think.
Okay.
It's like a Souls game where it's like, okay, well, there's all these enemies in the way, and then they stay cleared out until you go and rest, and then they respawn.
Mm-hmm.
Or you'll go and get an item, and it's like, all right, cool, now I have this safe way back. Take one screen over, and it's like, all right, we've spawned new harder enemies in the way. It's like, really? All right, thanks.
Yeah.
And now you have to fight all that crap.
The game looks really cool, but you keep mentioning comparisons to Dark Souls, which is turning me off from the game. So
very much so, yeah.
I'm not sure which way I'm leaning, because I don't really like Dark Souls in that style of game, but I really like Metroid in that style of game.
I would say it's closer to Metroid than it is Dark Souls, but there is a lot of inspiration from the Dark Souls style where resting respawns everything you've already fought. There's the points that you spend on leveling up. There's various stats you have to look at for what you have. Actually 3 things you level up. I've already forgotten what they are. One of them's like your gunpowder or gunfire or something, vigor, and then like resilience or something like that. And so I just basically, like I said, I hit level 27, and all I did was like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 on all 3 of those.
Okay.
And then once I hit that level, it's like, yeah, I'm kind of good on HP. And you'll find these things that let you. They're things that are the equivalent of your Estus Flask from Dark Souls. Where it's like, all right, so I'm down to half health, hit L1. That's all right. Now one of my 5 charges of healing is now gone. That's all it really is. Characters in this game, they're all weird. Probably the best way I can say that.
All weird.
And then your character, she's just kind of no memories or anything and just going with it. And I don't think she knows whether she's human or a robot. I don't think she knows she's actually a robot. And every time you deliver an item to the camp, you get this little cutscene of where you go to sleep. And the ground seems to be a favored spot in that case.
Okay. I mean,
there's explanation for it.
Lots of people sleep on the ground.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, I went through the game. I kept going back to it because it's like, I want to beat this game.
Yeah.
Expectation wise, if you're going to, it's like if you have that Metroid itch, yeah, this game's going to fill that need. If you're just looking to have like a fun time or something, it's not going to be fun. It's going to be a challenge.
I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right. It's like sometimes it's like, yeah, I just want to, go in here, test this out, and yeah. So yeah, the game's definitely not going to be for everyone. If you're like a diehard Metroid fan, it's like a 50-50 whether this game's going to be good in your opinion or not.
Yeah. How long did it take you to beat it?
let's see, what I had it a week before release?
Yeah.
Or was it 2 weeks?
I think you had it a week before.
I'm gonna say I played it for probably 2 hours a day. I'm gonna say probably 8 to 10 hours.
Okay, that's not too bad.
And that's just me exploring everything and getting lucky on what I'm finding. And even though I got lucky in a lot of spots on finding stuff, I was still lost 90% of the time. So now that the game's fully out, I'm sure people have made maps to make things easier. So if that's your cup of tea on there, you're probably looking at 6 hours.
Okay.
Which I do want to go back with a full map and see if I can get if there's like different endings or something for doing things differently.
See if you missed anything.
Yeah. Or if like there's a way to interact differently with certain NPCs, because there's like one that I was helping with a thing and they perished.
Oh no.
So yeah, I don't know if I can save them. I kind of hope I can, but if not, I understand.
Yeah. Okay.
Tony, what have you been playing?
I haven't actually been playing a whole lot this week. I've been doing stuff around the house and
Working on the sync. Got it.
Yeah, spending a week working on the sync. No, I've not spent that long. But if I did have a little bit of time, it was probably playing Mario and Rabbids. Just putting more time into that. I think I'm around the 10-hour mark. I'm part way through the third world now. I think I was just getting to it last week. I've started exploring the third world, which is all based on sort of like an autumn theme, but all of the color has sort of been taken away from parts of this planet, and you have to go around and try to restore the color to different sections.
So it's Epic Mickey.
Well, it's a whole lot better than Epic Mickey.
That's not
So, but that's not too hard. Epic Mickey, it was okay. It was not a great game, but it was not bad. Like, I had fun with Epic Mickey.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I've got Bowser now, and I think there's one other character that I still need. I don't remember who it is, but I think there's one other additional character that you meet that joins your team. You can fight alongside. I love Bowser. Bowser is hilarious, and he has a giant rocket launcher and can shoot a long way and do a lot of damage to a lot of things. But the boss that I'm on right now can't actually be hurt by your weapons. You have to actually use the environment to kill them. So that's been interesting, because while you're trying to run away from this boss that can kill you very quickly if it gets close to you, you're trying to deal with just hordes and hordes of little guys that start to appear every few turns, while luring the boss to very specific parts of the level so that you can use the environment to do damage to them. And I failed that the first time that I went through, but I was one turn away. Like, if I had had one more turn, I would have beaten that boss, but ended up getting sort of surrounded by some people and taking a ton of damage. But I love this game so much. It is so good. The Rabbids are so fun. They're so entertaining, and I never thought I would say that. But they really are, and it kind of makes me wish that Nintendo would do a Saturday morning style cartoon in this world, because I think it would be incredibly fun.
I thought you were going to say with the Rabbids. I was like, I've seen it.
I mean, no, I don't want to watch the Rabbids show, because I do seem to remember that, and I don't want that. But this version of the Rabbids, because they're not just like that, just straight over the top annoying. They actually have some personality, and they talk more normal, and
less minionese.
Yes, less minionese. So I'd love to see them do something like that with these characters. And we got the announcement of some of the DLC that will be happening, and one of them it's called the Tower of Doom, where you're going up and up inside this tower, and things get more difficult as you go along. And then, unfortunately, we knew that we were getting the Rayman DLC for this game. and it'll be out. I think early 2023 is when it's coming out. It may be closer to summer, but Mario and Rayman, from what I have seen, will not interact at all. This is Rayman and two other characters going through a very specific mission or set of story missions for them, and he won't necessarily interact with the whole crew, which is kind of disappointing. But I'm going to play it. So if I've had some free time to play something this week, it's been with Mario and Rabbids, but I haven't had a ton of time because I've just been dealing with stuff around the house and trying to do some, before it gets too cold to want to do anything with fixing things around the house, doing some of that stuff. But that's really been it for me, unless you guys have any specific questions about Mario and Rabbids that you want answered.
Is Peach in that?
Peach is in the game, yes.
What about the Rabid Peach?
Rabid Peach is one of your first party members. So,
all right, well, I'm sold.
Rabid Peach is great. She has a rocket launcher and fires multiple rockets up in the air that can get past cover. She's really, really handy. But that has been it for me, really. Hopefully I'll get a chance to play a little bit more this week after I fix the sink. But let's take a quick break here, and then we will come back and talk about the news. Here we go. Anybody know what happened 20 years ago?
I had my 15th birthday.
Okay. 20 years
I
ago.
was in high school.
20 years ago, I was 22. I'm an old man.
Oh.
So, no, 20 years.
Contest now.
I have been the oldest in our group for a long time. So, that is.
So, you're saying you're winning?
Yes. I am winning at life because I've been here longer. No, I don't know that's
how the high score works.
I think you want the low. No, I don't know that you really want the low score in life, though. But anyway, 20 years ago, we were introduced to Ratchet and Clank.
Ooh.
I'm watching some footage from Rifts Apart, and I really want to play this game. Having just finished Ratchet and Clank 2016 recently. I've been in a Ratchet and Clank mood, but I don't want to stream the PS3 games. And speaking of that, we're getting a bunch more of the PS3 titles coming to PlayStation Plus. Is that correct, Ethan?
PlayStation Plus Premium.
Okay.
You'll get access to Ratchet and Clank, PS3. Ratchet and Clank Going Commando, PS3. Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal, PS3.
PS3. Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank Deadlock, PS3. But correction, Ratchet and Clank Deadlocked, with an ED on the end, PS3. Ratchet and Clank Future Tools of Destruction, PS3.
See the trend.
Meaning that you're not going to be able to download and play. You'll have to stream them to play.
Yeah, because I don't think there are any PS3 titles. Maybe a small handful that you can download, but the PS3 titles are all streaming on PlayStation Plus.
So to stream it, I gotta actually hook up my capture card.
No, not that kind of stream.
No. To stream,
Oh,
if I want to stream it, then I gotta hit the capture card because I have to stream it in order to play it.
You have to
stream. If you want to stream the stream, yes.
You have to stream the game to your console and then hook up your other thing so that you can stream it to everybody else. So, yeah, you're streaming the stream.
Don't cross the streams.
Gosh, this game looks so good. I really want to play this game. But yeah.
So yeah, Ratchet and Clank, that 20-year anniversary. There's also a Rift Apart, like an update to Rift Apart? Anyway, Rift Apart releasing several sets of armor free for all players. Commando armor from Ratchet and Clank Going Commando. Hollow Flux armor from Ratchet and Clank Future: A Crack in Time. Quest armor from Ratchet and Clank Future: Quest for Booty. I love the name that they do on here because it's all
they
on purpose.
They use the double entendres really well for their titles.
Marauder armor from Ratchet Deadlocked, and then Clank armor.
Okay.
From Clank.
I wonder if we're getting close to them putting Rifts Apart on Plus.
Maybe.
Like, because the game's been out 2 years now.
It was basically a launch title.
Yeah,
wasn't
it was a launch title for the system.
Maybe.
So,
yeah. I mean, I definitely have fun playing it.
I need to
play a little shorter than I would have liked, but yeah.
I need to play it. So, but yeah, bunch of 20th anniversary stuff coming to PlayStation Plus. If you are the Essential member, is that which one it is?
Premium.
Premium. Okay.
Premium lets you play PlayStation 3. Plus lets you play PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I can't remember all the tiers. I'm sub to the highest tier, whichever one that is, but
Premium.
So, but yeah, so get ready for that if you want more Ratchet and Clank on your PlayStation.
I'm just waiting to see what they do for Jack and Daxter 20th anniversary.
They're not going to do anything.
I know.
Moving on from Ratchet and Clank, Square Enix is doing what Square Enix does, and that's the thing that they shouldn't be doing. And they are...
I'm really hoping my title on that news story threw you off.
Well, I remembered this story from this week, and I was like, this is great. Square Enix is making an NFT game. And
no, it's not even a game. They're just doing NFTs, aren't they?
Well, there is an NFT game that they're working on. So
see, as soon as they said NFTs, I clocked out on the idea.
Yeah, this new game, Symbiogenesis, I think it's called, is actually an NFT game according to Square Enix.
There's no such thing.
Well, there have been a couple of NFT games released.
There's NFTs, which are a lie. And then there are games, which Square Enix isn't making.
Warner Brothers gave us our first NFT movie this last, about a couple weeks ago, and
They didn't give us an NFT movie. They gave it to whoever paid them the most.
Well, no, they released a limited number of them, and it was for...
See, they didn't give it to anyone.
It was an NFT version of The Lord of the Rings that comes with the extended version of Fellowship of the Ring and some behind-the-scenes stuff, and
basically stuff everyone already owned.
You could pay $100, and then there was apparently some new behind-the-scenes stuff, but I am not buying an NFT for a little bit of behind-the-scenes features. But
you could change everything. They could even have had a boat.
I mean, maybe.
But in this version, Frodo does give the ring to Schmeagol.
I mean, technically he did at the end.
Well, I mean, he got it taken from him.
He's like, you know what? Yeah, I guess this really is yours.
Frodo leaves Mount Doom with all 10 fingers in this version of the movie. But no,
and they renamed Mountain Dew to Mountain Dew.
Square Enix is releasing an NFT game, Symbiogenesis. They are one of the few publishers, it seems, that is still even partially committed to this whole Web3 thing and trying to make NFTs in games a thing. Ubisoft tried it. It backfired tremendously on them, and I think even they're still trying to do something with NFTs. But
Ubisoft basically pulled a Blizzard when they announced Diablo Immortal, saying, "Don't you have smartphones?"
Yeah.
And that's what happened with their NFTs. They said, "But y'all want this, right?" Then they just kind of quietly backed away a little bit.
They're calling Symbiogenesis a collectible art project and an interactive narrative built around collecting characters. You can use art from outside the game, they say, but the main draw is supposed to be unraveling the narrative mystery by completing missions that revolve around the monopolization and distribution of resources. So
it's not like the Parasite Eve teaser we thought it was going to be.
No. Not at all.
Which I'm happy it's not a Parasite Eve NFT game.
Oh, man.
That's way better.
If they'd have attached NFTs to Parasite Eve, people would have gone even more nuts.
I mean, grab your torch and pitchforks would not even be cutting it.
So, the faster these publishers decide NFTs are a bad thing, because the vast majority of the gaming audience wants nothing to do with anything related to NFTs, the better. So I would love for this to just be a massive flop for Square Enix, basically. Because I want them to finally get the message that people don't want NFTs in their stuff.
You don't want an NFT in your stocking stuffer this year?
I do not. And there was a tiny, tiny, tiny brief moment I thought, well, there's more behind the scenes stuff for Lord of the Rings. Maybe I should get that NFT. But I'm not spending $100 to buy a digital version of a movie that I can only watch in a very specific place, because it's not like you can just boot it up on anything.
Yeah, just wait for someone to, rip the video, put it on YouTube.
So, I mean, I already own multiple copies of the Lord of the Rings movies, so I can just watch those, which I'm perfectly okay with. But yeah, so have you guys played any NFL Blitz in the past?
Oh gosh, it must be
yes.
I mean, how many of us haven't played NFL Blitz? That game consumed a lot of people in the late 90s. In the early 2000s.
It's just a nonsense fun football game.
That's exactly what it is. And NHL Hits is the same thing, just blitz on ice. But
sorry, I just pictured football on ice. I was like, wait a second, that's hockey.
I mean, there've probably been some football games played on ice in like Chicago and New England and Wisconsin.
I play football on ice in Rocket League all the time.
Okay, well, there you go. Arcade 1UP is releasing a mini version, or has released a mini version of the NFL Blitz arcade machine. And it is glorious. I would love to have one. It's a 4-player arcade machine that you can play 4-player NFL Blitz with your friends. But you're going to have to pony up quite a bit of cash because it's $600.
Do you say it's a mini?
Yeah, it's one of the, I think they're 1/3 size.
I think I saw those at work this week.
I have one of those Pac-Man machines right back behind me. I don't know if you can barely see it. It's right
kind of like my arcade machine that's here to the right of me.
They're like 4.5 feet tall.
Okay, yep, that's it.
So, but yeah, they've released an NFL Blitz one, and it is $600. Like, I would love to have one, but I'm not paying $600 for a little bit of NFL Blitz. I don't know what else comes on it, if it's got anything else. Like, most of those arcade machines have multiple games on it.
Yeah.
Or various versions of it, so you can pick your favorite.
Let me see what we've got here, if this says it's got anything else.
It'd be kind of a waste if it doesn't.
NFL Blitz 99, Blitz 2000. Looks like that may be it. Just a couple versions of NFL Blitz in the machine, so.
Okay.
And that's it. But yeah, it's a really, really nice looking machine. And that they are releasing, like they've done with most of their arcade machines, an NFL Blitz specific riser. So if you want to get it a little higher up off the ground, like another 1.5 feet off the ground. Like with my Pac-Man machine, I have to either sit on my knees or sit in a chair to play it comfortably. So if you get one of the,
it's supposed to make you feel like you're not a kid anymore.
I tower over the arcade machines now.
These used to be so huge when I was little, but now they look like little ants.
It's just the smallest.
They are ants.
Cute arcade machine. So yeah.
What is this? An arcade machine for ants?
It goes in that tiny little model of I don't even remember what that was a model for. In that
this is the school for
for
learn to read well and other good stuff or something like that.
So yeah. Arcade 1UP, NFL Blitz. If arcade machines aren't your thing, maybe, just maybe, you might like some VR. A few companies have been trying the VR thing. We got Oculus raising the prices on VR. We got some other companies. I don't know who all does VR, but
Meta,
PlayStation. Um,
PlayStation.
PlayStation has the PSVR for the PS4, and they announced this week the release date and the pricing for PSVR 2.
About time.
The sequel to PSVR.
Yes, the sequel to PSVR. If you want to play some
If
VR,
PSVR is so good, why isn't there a PSVR 2?
Well, there is now.
now there is.
There
Jim
is.
Ryan
Oh,
here
it's-
is telling us all about PSVR 2. It'll be out February 2023, and you could almost buy an NFL Blitz machine for what it costs to get PSVR. Because the PSVR 2 is going to release for $550, which is more than the PlayStation itself.
It's like an arcade that you wear on your head.
And, completely isolate you from everything around you. I'm not a big fan of the VR stuff. I don't like wearing the thing on my head very much because I having small kids. It's getting a little better now because I don't have small kids. But if I can't hear or see what's going on in the house, you never know what happens with small kids.
Yeah.
So, plus it's always just been cost prohibitive. And I think this is still, this is not going to make VR mass market even with the PlayStation, because $550 is a lot to ask on top of the $500 that it already costs to get a PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it looks cool. There's a lot of cool looking stuff with the VR things, but over $1,000 for your average consumer is a lot to ask for a VR setup.
I'll probably buy it.
I mean, I would love to, but I'm looking at like when these things get down to like $200, which is after the PS5 is already dead and gone,
Like
and we're
on
on to the
its
PS6.
death,
That's
when
when
we get to the new PSX.
Yeah, then we're gonna get PSVR 3.
No, we'll get PSVR 2 because 2 will be so good we need a sequel.
Okay. I see what was going
PSVR 2.5 Redux.
on. PSVR Pro, PSVR 2 Pro,
Remake.
and then they release a version that's just like like Geordi's little visor on Star Trek, and that's the PSVR 2 Slim.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, February 2023, $550 if you want PSVR 2. Something that might cost a little less than PSVR 2 is an expansion to Little Inferno.
What?
Yeah, Little Inferno is getting an expansion, and it'll be out November 18th on Steam. The Switch version will come a little bit later than that. But yeah, a game from over a decade ago is getting its first content update.
Wow.
So Little Inferno, if you don't know, is a game all about just setting things on fire.
That's my kind of game.
It's every pyromaniac's favorite game. And my children. Maybe I should be worried because my children absolutely are
You said it, not us.
obsessed with Little Inferno. And my daughter plays it all the time, and she talks about all the things she's setting on fire, and it's a little concerning. But we're getting a new holiday update for Little Inferno that comes with a brand new holiday story that they say is scary, a new catalog with 20 holiday-themed toys, and that will allow you to do more than 50 new combinations of things, as well as an infinite Yule log. So if you're one of those people that love to have the fire on your TV, you can now have the Little Inferno version of a fire just roaring away on your TV.
Aw, I love it.
Don't know how much it's going to cost. I haven't seen that in any of the news stories that I've read. I don't know if it's going to be a free update. I would assume it probably will be. But I don't know for sure. As soon as I find out a little more, I'll post on Twitter about it, and let people know what is coming and how much it's going to cost, if anything. But yeah, I liked Little Inferno. I thought it was a fun game, just trying all the different combinations of things and seeing how some of the different things that you set on fire react, because everything in the game has a unique reaction to being set on fire, and combining different things with other different things can lead to some interesting combinations. So,
what does it need? More fire.
And I had not been putting any of the video on the screen, so people have just been looking at my pretty mug for the entire Little Inferno story. There you go. Now you get to see a little bit of Little Inferno.
No, that's where you just say you're welcome and call it quits there.
You guys have seen fire, right? It's like that.
You know what fire looks like.
You just be like, I'm too hot for this fire.
Exactly. But the last little bit of news here that I wanted to talk about, it's kind of a funny story, but also hints at just how bad Sony has been about letting people know what version of a game they're playing. Because the Bungie developers this week were like, you know, we've noticed a bunch of people on the PS5 are playing the PS4 version of Destiny 2 on the PS5. So, you might want to remember there's actually a PS5 version of Destiny 2 out there. You could go download that one and play that on your PS5, and you'll get a better experience.
That's how good the game is. PS5 players don't even notice.
Like the Xbox, their smart delivery thing is just amazing because it works so well, and it's just like, you're downloading this on a Series X. Here's the Series X version of the game. You don't have to, worry about what you're doing.
You don't got to choose what.
It can also be. It can also be like a number of like PvP players trying to get an advantage in PvP by being on the PS4 version on the PS5, so your loading times and everything are massively reduced already.
Yep. Because
PS5 faster loading, and then you're running the lower tier version of it, so it's like, all right, that's going to cut it down again right there. So it's like whatever advantage you can get. So that could also be it, but I mean,
I suppose that could be.
It could also be people who just transferred systems and didn't bother getting the PS5 version.
And I actually went to see just how difficult it is to get the PS4 or the PS5 version, and it's not easy. Like, you have to really be paying attention, and you go to the Destiny page and there's not a thing down there that says download the PS4 version or the PS5 version. There's an icon up in the top right corner somewhere that says this other version of Destiny is here. Click on this one, and you can go there, and then it says you can download the PS5 version. So it is confusing because when you go to the Destiny page on the PlayStation Store, it takes you to the PS4 version of the game first.
And then you got to make sure which one you're launching when you actually do download it, because like you technically have to have the PS4 version downloaded already. It's really weird. Yeah. Speaking from experience.
And I don't know what kind of difference there is. I haven't looked at side-by-side comparisons of the PS4 version versus the PS5 version.
Prettier.
So I know the file sizes are massively different. That was the one thing I did notice, was that the PS5 version is significantly larger than the PS4 version of the game.
They have their weekly update. This is called This Week at Bungie. They release it on Thursdays. They actually had a bunch of graphic they showed the comparisons between the graphics, and it's like, it's not a huge difference, but it is like visually it's more noticeable. It's like playing Destiny 1 on Xbox and then moving up to Xbox 360. Xbox 360 and moving up to Xbox One.
Okay. So, yeah, that would be a significant upgrade. So, yeah. But just make sure, if you want to play Destiny 2 on the PS5, that you get the correct version of the game. But that is it for the show this week, unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about before we leave.
No.
All right. Well, it's good to have you back, Cole. Thank you for being here.
We are all just cosmic pawns to the Star Horse.
And Ethan, thank you as well.
I do not believe Cole's will is his own.
He must obey the laws or the orders of Zavala.
Zavala's in my family now.